Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Barakakadash. Love and honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule well, taught us his truth. Peace, love, and blessings to a hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and a sincere believer scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You know, back out here once again, prophesying as usual. All right, week in and week out until the end comes. Can you give me what was that, Mark 13? Mark the 13th chapter, either in or to the end. That Mark 13 and 13 something.
Yeah. This is
What's the lot? Totally forgot to put on my garments. Lucky.
This is Mark chapter 13 and verse. I'm gonna start at
Yeah, huh.
This is Mark 13 and 1. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples saith unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. And Yahweh Shai answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Yahweh Shai answering them began to say, Take heed, lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many.
You got a lot of, you already got a lot of people out there talking about, making people believe that they're anointed, and they're deceiving you with madness. Recently you just had this thing with Nick Cannon. He had this guy, Professor Griff, on his podcast, or his little online show, web show, whatever you want to call it. And he was talking about how so-called black people are the real Hebrews, and he said a lot of things, not rightly dividing the word of truth, because there was truth in there, but it was mixed with some bugged out stuff. Like there was one thing where he said that so-called black people are the actual Shem, the descendants of Shem, and so-called white people are not. And that they're trying to steal the heritage and all these things. Where the so-called black people are the real Hebrews, and it's true to a certain sense, but because this guy got no understanding, and Nick Cannon got a lot of people watching him. See, these different people that are saying this bugged out nonsense, they have large platforms, to produce this madness upon. And so-called white people do descend from Shem, all right, because that's the twin brother of Jacob. All right, you got to understand the scriptures. That's the qualification that you need to be able to divide the words of truth. You have to understand the truth, man. If you don't understand the truth, Nick Cannon, just sit down and shut the fuck up, like your master E told you to do, man.
Yep. Yeah, and Esau himself, he's a Shemite, and Esau himself is a Hebrew.
Yep.
They're Hebrew Edomites. Okay, just like there's Hebrew Moabites, Hebrew Ammonites, Hebrew Ishmaelites. Those are all Hebrews, man.
Why? Because they're descendants of Eber.
Yep.
Ibar.
Yep.
See? But you didn't know that, did you? Because you up there talking to Professor Griff, another bug out.
Yeah, that was a straight up bug out.
Don't know what the hell you're talking about, all this Kemetic. You trying to mix Kemetic stuff, so-called African shit, and mix it with the Hebrew Israelites, man. You mixing wines, and a lot of people, they do that. I've heard Jake's talks about straight madness. I had one dude on my comment board. I used to go back and forth with him all the time, and he would talk about how the glittering sword was the sun, and Esau, because he don't have some code in his DNA that the sun was gonna superheat and melt him. You know, Jake's. There's there's so much BS out there. You can't even keep up with how much madness it is out there, man. We're good? No, it's cool, man. What's this public sidewalk, bro? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? All right, you too.
It says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet.
Yeah, be not troubled. You know, and sometimes you get troubled, man, because you know, you being in the truth, especially you being in the however long you've been in the truth, you might have been in the truth for a number of years. You have a certain zeal about you for the truth, and so when you hear somebody subverting the truth, it upsets you, man. But these things are written that people will be doing this type of stuff, so you're not supposed to really let it trouble you. Like I'm not just stewing about it. I'm not, writing Nick Cannon letters and shit, like sending them hate mail and death threats. But there's certain things that stir you up, and there's a righteous way to go about it, is to come out here and to let people know that might not know. You come across it because you got a lot of bug outs and scoffers out there that want to put their 2 cents in, and they want to take on this Hebrew Israelite thing, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, man. They have no idea.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 4:1. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1. I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
And that's what it is. You reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering. I mean, Nick Cannon, if you wanted to be an Israelite, that's good, bro. I would commend you for doing that. But the problem is that first of all, you drop this funk out there, and then when Esau comes against you, you immediately start running backwards. And that's a weak ass spirit, man.
Yeah, because the scriptures say the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. And what you showed was cowardice, man. Straight up fear. Because Amalek approached you and said, hey, what's all this bullshit you're talking about? And when you had your chance to publicly declare the truth right then and there, you tucked your fucking tail, man. Okay, because like the apostles say, if Esau or somebody approaches us and they put us on television, you're supposed to declare the truth before the world. Okay, but you know why you didn't do that? Because you're not a prophet of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's why if Esau approaches one of the brothers out here, we'll straight up tell Esau and the world, through his media, like we're doing now with YouTube. And we'll declare the truth. That yeah, you're a fucking Edomite. You're going into slavery for what you've done to these people, man. And we're the Hebrew of the Hebrews. Alright?
And what that proves is that you don't really believe, you had no understanding, so how could you believe? So you didn't believe in it. Alright? And that's why you weren't able to go to continue forward on. Because you didn't believe, you just wanted to sound smart. You just wanted to sound woke. Like a lot of you jakes out there, you just want to be fucking woke, man. You just want to sound smart. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but it sounds cool, so I'm going to run with that.
Yeah, your cousin told you were an Israelite.
Yeah. So now you're going around telling everybody you're an Israelite, and you got some bugged out doctrine that you're carrying around with you.
Hey bro, can I continue with this barbershop?
Yeah.
So it says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, It shall be turned unto fables.
And you think about it, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to be turned unto fables, whether it be Christianity, whether it be, some bugged out Israelite doctrine.
Oh, remember that nigga Big Rome? We're going to all ascend to the 5th dimension.
You got, that. Everybody's going to hear about about the Hebrew Israelites, man. So one way or another. But the majority of people that hear about it, they're not gonna receive the real truth. They're not gonna receive Yahweh Shai, man. And you need Yahweh Shai in order to live, because that's who's gonna pardon you of your sins. All right, because you try and come to the truth thinking that you're some kind of righteous being. Oh, I'm fucking, I'm Professor Mac Daddy, know-it-all. All right, you're not gonna be able to make, because you don't need salvation, right? You don't need nobody to save you, because you Professor Mac Daddy know-it-all.
Yeah.
That's it. This is Matthew 19:16. It says, "And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. He saith unto him, Which? Yahweh Shai said, Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." So these things are the key things that you got to do to enter into life. How hard is it not to steal? How hard is it not to have sex with another man's wife? How hard is it not to tell lies about your brother? How hard is it, to love your mother and your father, man? And to love your neighbor as yourself, meaning that, if you understand something, you're not going to feed them pork butts and taters, man. This is, it says, verse 20 says, "The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet?" And a lot of these things we offended in the world. Adultery, being a thief, being a liar, maybe other things. All right.
We had issues with our parents.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Being evil, to have an evil eye towards your father. A lot of times it's towards the father.
Yeah.
It said, Yahweh Shai said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect. This is where you messed up. Yahweh Shai said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Nick Cannon got different TV shows. He won awards. He was like the Teen Choice Awards nominee for fucking years. He's on that Wild and Out shit,
Yeah, he was pretty much raised up in that glow, in that spotlight, where he's got money, he's got women, he's got riches, he's got cars, he's got houses, he's got fortune and fame, he's got everything that a man really desires: women, fortune, fame. So he's not gonna just drop that. That's why when they approached him, he had to swallow his fucking words, man, because he wasn't trying to go back to something he's never really lived. Because a lot of these actors, they've been in that within that society from a young age, and so he's used to that glamorous lifestyle. He wasn't ready to be demoted.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to live like that. So that's why he had to say, you know what? Slakia, my bad. Sorry.
Yep, because he came to him, man. He said one of his apologies, he said, I want to thank the rabbis that reached out to me and enlightened me. So what happened? He came to him and said, look, Mr. Nick Cannon, if you don't stop this talking about so-called white man is not the real Jews, we gonna fucking take everything from your ass, and you're gonna be a regular ass dude. you're gonna be like us. You're gonna be a blot and a stain in the world. Because if anybody, the offscoring. Well, it talks about that in the script. Let me find that real quick. The offscoring, man. And when you look up offscoring, it says something to be scraped off of the skin. So it's a scab. It's a blemish, man. That's how you're gonna be lit. You're gonna be hated of all men in the truth, because you got all these different factions out here. If you preaching, homosexuality is wrong, you preaching the Christian doctrine, and you actually saying things that somewhat right, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have you're still gonna have that big following of people, because Christianity is big. This is a new song. This is very small. The brotherhood is always, and it's a brotherhood within a brotherhood, because the nation of Israel is bugged out. Only brothers in the same spirit as Great Millstone and worshiping the true power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
That's the real body.
That's the real body.
Because the scriptures talk about one truth, one body. The scriptures talk about how can two walk together except they be agreed. And we don't agree with a lot of these Israelite groups, other ones, because they're bugged out. Okay, I heard that, if I remember correctly, Nick Cannon was watching GOCC, or one of those other bugged out Israelite groups.
He looked like a GOCC.
Yeah. He wore the same little fucking thing as bubble lights,
Yeah. You wear that stupid ass shit. Which, it ain't stupid, but I think the way he wears it is wrong.
Well, I think the way he has it is it's covering the whole of his head.
Yeah, I think it's covering the top of his head, which that's why I say stupid. If you wear something like that, but you got the top of your head uncovered, then there's nothing wrong with that. But if you covering up your whole head, that's awful. That's why we wear the bandanas or the sweatbands too.
Yeah, like the apostles, they used to wear the mitres, but there's a way you wrap it to where it leaves the hole open.
Yep. It says 1 Corinthians 4:10, we are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake. Alright, see, we are fools because why? Because people think we're fucking crazy, man. People think we're bugged out, we're stupid. You could tell all kinds of truth, man, but as soon as you start pulling out scriptures, I want to hear that. But you could be straight on point. But as soon as you start linking it up with the scriptures, you're a bug out now. So that's, and especially if you're doing it the way the way the Holy Spirit has you do it, you're a super bug out, man. You're the most hateful people. You're the most hateful person on earth. You just hate everybody. Hate. It says we are fools for Yahweh Shai's sake, but you are wise in Yahweh Shai. We are weak, but you are strong. You are honorable, but we are despised. So we're both of these things at the same time. We're weak in the flesh, but we're strong in the spirit.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I had that. That was the spirit.
It says you are honorable, but we are despised. In the eyes of Yahweh Bashem outside, the things that we're doing is honorable. But to this world, it's something to be despised. It's something to look at with disdain, with an ill eye. Especially Edomites, especially other nations, the heathens. They look at us like we're the enemy, and that's right. But you also got a lot of the nation of Israel that looks at what we're saying as wicked, man. You'll have people that'll preach they'll say, so-called black people, so-called black people, so-called black people. And then you'll have 2/3 of the nation of Israel eating it up. But as soon as you start talking about the Israel of the Most High, that not all Israel is of Israel, different things like that, you lose it, man. You lose it. Why? Because they can't receive the spirit. They can't receive the truth. It's too hard. It's too hard for them. They want the doctrine to be what they want it to be, man.
Yeah, the scriptures do say that a false balance is an abomination which Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So the Lord has to have hate in order to have good. That is what turns a lot of Israelites away. The Lord hates actually a good thing because the Lord is going to save a remnant, you know.
A lot of times you'll have Israelites that come up trying to teach you something.
And not know damn thing.
And not know, teach you some, trying to be talking about some crazy ass shit like that picture I showed you. There was a Gadite.
Okay.
She got, you know, there was a so-called black woman, Judite. She was wearing some Pocahontas looking shit. And then this Gadite woman was like, keep your hands off my culture. And then you had some bugged out Judite got on the comment board and said, so-called black people are the original Native Americans. That they came over here during Pangea. And that the people, the Native Americans, Gad, came over here during the Ice Age through the Bering Strait.
Which is a fucking lie. The scriptures tell you how we got here. Okay, we got over here by boat. Fucking niggas.
Ain't nobody came over here when the landmass was all put together.
Everybody died. Remember?
Everybody except for Noah and his sons and their wives.
And then everybody stayed in the Middle East. It wasn't until Solomon's time, the Phoenicians, the Philistines, they started coming over here, the Canaanites. That's where you get them Olmec statues. Those were Canaanites.
But they didn't live here. They didn't live here.
Yeah. They just came, got resources, and went back. You know?
What the hell are you gonna? Oh, you're a Canaanite, and you're on a mission to go. You ain't gonna go to some land that you ain't never been in your life and just start building houses. And you live in Canaan. Fuck, you gonna? That's where your home. That's where all your people are and everything. What the hell are you gonna do? Going to another land. The reason why the Northern Kingdom did that is because they got cast off, man. They got sold into slavery. They wanted to escape slavery.
Yep. And then the Assyrians, they had destroyed Samaria, so they got the thought like, well, let's go there. Remember, Solomon used to go send Canaanites over there. Let's go over there, as the scriptures say, so that there they could keep the law, statutes, commandments.
It said which they could not keep in their own land.
Yep.
And they went to a new land, where never mankind dwelt. Right? Where would that be? That's over here, the New World.
Yep.
What Cristobal Colon called this place?
Yep.
The New World.
Yep.
You know? And when he got over here, what he find? He found Israelites over here, man.
It's like a dope, bro. The expansion pack.
Yeah, the expansion pack.
Yeah.
Part 2.
The New World.
The New World. That's why it's called the New World Order. That's why this whole thing is being pushed out of America. You know? That's why you have American military bases all over the damn place, man.
Well, when you look at the back of the dollar bill, in Latin, it says Novus Ordo Seclorum. What that means is new order of the ages, bro. Which is the New World Order. It's on the back of the dollar bill in Latin. Novus Ordo Seclorum. It means new order of the ages. You know, which is New World Order.
So it says, 1 Corinthians 4 and 11, even unto this present hour we both hunger and thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place. And labor, working with our own hands, being reviled we bless, being persecuted we suffer it, being defamed we entreat. We are made as the filth of this world, and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. The offscouring, when you look up that word offscouring, is something to be scraped off of the flesh. It's a scab, man. We're basically a stain on Esau's world, man.
This is 1 Corinthians 1:24. But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach, the power of Yahweh, and the wisdom of Yahweh, because the foolishness of Yahweh is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yahweh is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised hath Yahweh chosen. Yeah, and the things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
And that's how the Lord works, man. That's why He called brothers, brothers into the truth that may be homeless, man. He called brothers into the truth that may have been completely wicked in the world, man. He called people into the truth that are looked down upon in this society, man. And that's for a reason, because you have a lot of these different people that are scholarly. They went to different schools. They got PhDs in philosophy and different things like that. And the Lord, and they come and talk to us, and then they find out they had it all wrong. You had like Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone cannot leave us alone, man. And the reason is because he's irked by us, man. He's bugged out by the truth, man. That's why he can't leave it alone. His whole life's purpose now is to demonize us and try and destroy us and defame us. But being defamed, we entreat, man. At one point in time they were calling us child molesters. Why? Because of the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. But my thing is, you had other Israelite groups calling the apostles child molesters, bro. And that don't make no damn sense. Because right here, even in America, in California, you can only deal with a woman that's 18 and older. You can go to another county right here in America and deal with a woman that's 15 years old and get married to her, and it's legal. Yeah. So what's the fucking standard then? What's the standard? It makes no sense. That's why this is Babylon. All you gotta do is cross some state lines, and now it's okay. Oh, you're good because you're over there. Don't make no sense.
Yeah, different states have different laws. And some of those different laws is the age of, what do you call that shit?
Age of consent.
Yeah. I heard in Canada, it's like, I believe in Canada, it's like as long as the parents say it's okay, you can deal with a woman fucking that's like 13 years old, 14 years old. And it's on the same fucking landmass. Just because you cross some invisible line.
Yep.
That's why you people are bugged out, man.
Bugged out, man. Why aren't you saying nothing about these people?
Or all them fucking pedophiles, fucking boy lovers. What do you call that shit? The Pizzagate fuckers, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the entire American government.
Yep.
That's the senators, that's your governors, your mayors, your judges, your police officers. A lot of them are damn child molesters, man. How come you had this big old thing with Epstein, right? What about Joe Biden? Joe Biden's a child molester, man. They even have this thing now between Democrats and Republicans. If you're a Republican, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a racist. Now Trump supporters are saying if you're a Biden supporter, you're a child molester. So where does the madness end? This whole thing is nothing but a cesspool of retardation, man. It's that movie Idiocracy, man. That's what we're living out right now. The leaders of your country are literally so what's the word for it? Childish, man. All they do is hurl insults at each other now. They ain't even talking about different, what was it called? Foreign policy, domestic policy. What am I gonna do about this? They ain't even talk about that no more. All they're doing now, if you follow Trump, you're a racist, you're an idiot, you're a homophobe. Oh, if you follow Biden, you're a fucking child molester. Biden's senile, he can't even think straight, he's retarded. And that's all they're doing is hurling childish insults at each other, man. That's your leadership. If you're an American, that's who you get to choose from as a fucking president now, as your Caesar. This place is through, man. If you can't see that this place is through, you are just, you're bugged out, man. America is already destroyed. America is mentally and spiritually fucking destroyed. All that needs to happen now is for it to get physically destroyed. And all that, you know, you might have a Black Lives Matter flag and wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and fist pump all around the city yelling Black Lives Matter because you're fighting fascism and racism. But really that whole thing is just a front for the so-called Jews and the LGBT community, man. That's what it's really about. It's really so that you can't speak out against them. They don't give a fuck about you.
This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Yep.
And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts.
Yep. See, and hey man, you Jakes are getting ready to go into what's called Jacob's trouble, in which Esau is going to come down having great wrath. All right, just look at his doomsday clock, man. Look how close it is to midnight. This guy knows that this time is up, bro.
Yeah.
It's like seconds from midnight, man.
Yeah. I remember a year ago it was like a minute or two from and they'll move it up and move it back. Why? Because Esau's procrastinating, man. He's toying around because he knows that he has but a short time, man. You know? He has but a short time. This is...
And the Egyptians, that's, you know, look at the back of a dollar bill. You'll see the pyramid of Egypt, man. And in the scriptures, it calls this place spiritually Sodom and spiritually Egypt, man. Right? And it's spiritually Egypt in many ways. In many ways. Not just because of bondage, not just because of slavery. Also the different idols that's here.
The different names of cities.
Different customs.
Yep. Oh, look at the Washington Monument. It's an Egyptian obelisk. Then you got places here named Memphis, Philadelphia.
I mean, you got Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah. Memphis. Okay, Philadelphia. Those are places in Egypt. Alexandria. Okay. There's various other ones. You got streets named Ptolemy. Which Ptolemy was a Roman he was like
He's Greek.
Slakia, yeah, a Greek king that his his jurisdiction was Egypt.
He wasn't Ptolemy one of the four?
Yep.
He was one of the four.
Yep. One of the four generals of Alexander. Which, when Alexander died, those four generals set themselves up as rulers to expand Edomite supremacy in the world. Okay, the Greek Empire. But they were all divided amongst each other, man. They were at war against each other. And Ptolemy, he took Egypt. You know? Ptolemy took Egypt. That was his, what you would call his quarters, right? Because when Alexander was ruling in the earth, he conquered the known world at the time, which is the eastern part of the world. Okay. That's where you get Cleopatra. Cleopatra, she was of the Ptolemaic dynasty. That was one of Ptolemy's offspring. And you got a lot of these Israelites and a lot of these black conscious people, you know, that praise Cleopatra. They have her all drawn as a black woman when really Cleopatra was an Edomite woman. It's a so-called white woman.
And then you'll have these bugged out know-it-all Jakes. Baghdadi know-it-all, man. that'll be, talking about Cleopatra and that they're the Egyptians.
But she was so beautiful.
Yeah.
When really, they have pictures of her as she was really depicted. She was fucking ugly, bro.
You got to know your timelines, man. You got to know your history. There's a lot of things about history that Jake, and a lot of times Jake like to pick and choose, man. Jake will choose what he likes and what he don't like. This part of history, I don't like that, so we ain't gonna subscribe to that. And then now, what do you have? Judah want to think that it's the 12 tribes of Judah.
Yeah, 12 tribes of black.
The only way you could be an Israelite is if you look like fucking Samuel L. Jackson, man. That's it.
You gotta have curly hair and a fat nose.
Yep, that's it, man. The only way possible that you could be an Israelite is if you look like a straight up Judite, man. And that's it, man. And that's what they'll teach you. That's what they'll go, and it's because that's what they want it to be. That's what they want it to be, man.
Yeah.
Because they got malicious intent. They don't care about what the scriptures say.
You're like Esau. What did Esau go around using eugenics? You fucking measure your nose.
Yeah.
Measure your distance from your eyes.
You see a Gadite. You go up. That can't be an Israelite. Look at it. It's too light. You'll even see a straight up Judite, but because he's light skinned, he can't be an Israelite. That's how bugged out you. That's why a lot of you Jakes got to be destroyed, man. You Jakes that are like that, you have to go, man. You gotta go. You're not gonna make it into the kingdom. All right, you can't. Well, for what? You're just a demon. You're a hateful demon.
Yeah, because the scriptures do say flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom. And you 2/3 of our people, they're carnal, they're brute beasts. They're all the flesh.
Like that one guy that came up. Oh, my family, we was the first slaves that ever touched down in America.
Yeah.
We're the blackest of the blacks.
But you don't know that here in America, the Northern Kingdom was slaves first, man. The Northern Kingdom was slaves during when Judah was still out there. Judah was still out there in certain parts of Europe, fighting against Esau. And meanwhile, you had Jakes over here getting sent back to Spain, man.
Well, you had the Irish and the Scottish that was going into slavery in the 1400s, bro.
Yeah, 1300s.
So I mean, come on, bro. What do you really know? This is and then you got a lot of Jakes that'll completely deny that ever even happened.
Yeah, because if you look at the Moors, that was all around that area, Spain.
This is Daniel 8:1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw, that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then lifted up my eyes, and I saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great.
Which that's going into the Medo-Persian Empire. And the Medo-Persian Empire at the time, they were dominating, man. They were going around fucking everybody up, man.
And I was considering, behold, and he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I have seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
Yeah, we're just talking about Alexander the Greek. He was that horn, okay, that was in between that goat. Because Alexander the Greek, his father was King Philip of Macedon, and he was a great king. He was well known. But when Alexander came into power, he was a successor of what his father was about. And wherever Alexander thought to go, he took over those places, man.
They said his feet touched not the ground.
Yeah, he was just
He was flying. Yeah, he was flying on them. Even like Jake said, I took flight.
Yeah.
Alexander took flight, man.
Yeah.
He was taking flight on him.
To this day, he's renowned. To this day, Esau still uses some of his tactics, when it comes to his military, because although he's an Edomite and he was ruler of Macedon, he did have Jakes within his military. The Spartans, a lot of them were in that military, man. Where they're setting up the phalanx, which they say is like one of the greatest military tactics. And it's true. One of the greatest advantages you have in war is if you have a good defense, that's a good offense. And that's what made the Spartans and a lot of different Greek military units strong. Was their defensive tactics, man.
Like a tank.
Yeah.
Because that's how they would do it. If you watch that movie, Gladiator, it shows you that you had that guy called the Spaniard, and he was in the Roman army, and they put him in the gladiator. He said he looked at the gladiators who were with him. He said, "Who here has ever served in the military?" And then some of them raised up their hands, like, "All right, you're gonna help me lead this." And then they had chariots come out because the gladiators were supposed to lose, because it was a show. It was rigged. The gladiators were meant to get squashed. Yep, scraped. So they had the chariots come out, and the chariots had like spikes on their wheels. They had bows and arrows and spears, and the gladiators had nothing but shields and spears. And so what they did was they formed a shell, like a turtle shell, with their shields. And when the chariots came by, they stuck a spear in between the spokes of the wheels so that the chariot would flip over. And then they would ran up and smack the chariot right. But that was a tactic that they would use when they would get ambushed or under attack. Their squad would come together and they would make like a big dome with their shields so that nothing would get through, so that they wouldn't get hit by arrows or spears or anything.
Yeah, real quick. This is 1 Maccabees 12 and 21. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham.
That means that they're Israelites.
Yep.
So the Lacedaemonians, which were the Spartans, and the Jews were brethren.
Yeah, those are Benjamites, Judites, Levites, man. Those Spartans, man, that you see in the movies that Esau likes to depict himself as, man. Fucking devil. A lot of them original Greeks, the original Greek militaries, man. Those were Israelites. That's why when Paul, he was writing letters to who? The Corinthians, to the people of Troas. Troas is Troy. You got that movie about Troy, about Achilles. Those were Israelites, man. Those were Israelites. Like you got football today. You got different sports teams. Well, that's what the Trojans were. That's what the Corinthians were. That's what the Colossians were. That's what the Spartans were. They were like different sects of the Greek military. And they would all boast themselves, "Oh yeah, we from Troy, nigga." You know what I mean? Like niggas are today. You got niggas, "Oh, Raiders." Another nigga, "Oh, Niners." That's the same shit it was back then. Okay, the football arena, the stadium, it's a fucking Coliseum. You look at it from an outside view, it looks like the Flavian Amphitheater, which the Flavian Amphitheater is the Roman Coliseum. Okay, and the way they built that place, it's lucky I'm going on, but it's spirit.
No, it's good.
The Flavian Amphitheater, which is the Roman Coliseum that you know as, it was built on all the gold that they stole from the temple, bro. That's crazy, man. When Esau came through with the Greeks, I believe it was Flavian. It was You know, it was Flavian dynasty. You know, but all the gold that went back to Antiochus and them stealing, man, from the temple.
This is Acts 21 and 18. And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. So Paul is saluting the elders, and he's telling them what things is being, you know, what he's teaching the Gentiles, basically. It says, and when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. And they are informed of thee, they're informed of Paul, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses. I'm going to say that again. Thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. Now, I brought that out because that's what the brother was talking about. Corinthians, Lacedaemonians, Galatians. These are the Jews among the Gentiles, right? And that's who Paul was going, when Paul said he went out to teach the Gentiles, that's who he was teaching. Because there's no way in hell, because Paul said it himself. He said in Romans 9, Romans the 9th chapter. Romans 9.
This is real quick.
Yeah.
This is Romans 1 and 7. It says, to all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So he says, to all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh. And the scriptures say that the Lord only loves Jacob and hates Esau.
They say he hates Esau.
Yep.
He even reiterates that in Romans the 9th chapter. Now why does he reiterate it? Because when you read the Old Testament and you read the New Testament, what you'll find is that the New Testament is basically the Old Testament.
Yeah.
They're preaching, they're refreshing the Old Testament, man. Is basically what's happening. And that what happened is Yahweh Shai came to bring the Gentiles back into the fold.
Yeah.
And so that's what was going on.
Well, when they were asking about the kingdom, Yahweh Shai said, not yet, because I have other sheep that are not in this fold. So he had to go teach the northern kingdom, you know. And that's where you get a lot of the northern kingdom have their stories about, higher beings coming down speaking with them. Or they have the story about Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, because Yahweh Shai came and talked to them, you know. There's that movie, Blood In, Blood Out. Blood In, Blood Out. It's like that fucking, Mexican gang movie. But in there's a dude. He's airbrushing a lowrider, and then his little brother comes up to him. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Who's that you're drawing?" And he said, "It's Quetzalcoatl, a great king poet, and he's coming back to bring the Rasa back together." You know what I mean? That's something dope, bro. He said, "Yeah, he's coming back to reclaim his kingdom and bring the Rasa together."
Yeah.
And he's talking about Yahweh Shai, bro.
And in Spanish, when you speak Spanish, Rasa is basically family.
Yeah. Apostle Tahar goes into it how Rasa means gene. Raza means gene. And in Romans, it says, who are brethren according to the flesh. You know? According to the same genetic makeup. You know?
This is Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Yahweh Shai,